Why don't we care about selling out? When we think about music festivals in the United States, there is always one that comes to mind, and that is the original Woodstock Festival in 1969, a monumentous cultural moment thankfully captured on celluloid. The film version of the Woodstock Festival would go on to paint a picture of a generation of people that cared. They wanted to do nothing more than revel in the music and drug-induced free love. The antithesis of this portrayal is the 30-year anniversary that was marred in tragedy. The latter Woodstock would be portrayed as the failure of the blank generation, Generation X, my generation, who was so hypnotized by the sounds of nu metal that they raped and pillaged the site of the festival in the name of chaos. I've always felt like that assessment was so far from the truth. Woodstock 69, much like Woodstock 94, had free entry, meaning people had breached the gates, and instead of attempting to stop thousands of people, the promoters simply ate the loss. In 69, they were saved by the state and the movie rights. By 94, there were corporate sponsors. Despite the festival being a financial failure twice, a 30-year redo was in order in 1999. It was the end of the millennium, and we were going into the future, 2000, into the great unknown. Well, in 1999, the show promoters finally found a way to stop the ins and outs and how to lock people into 3 days of around-the-clock consumerism. It had never been done before, and the capitalist dream of Woodstock was realized in 1999. It's just in 1999, people would revolt. Some look at Woodstock 99 as a moment when the original founders of the festival sold out, but selling out was always the plan. What if keeping it real was the illusion? Punk music has always been seen as the soundtrack to The Outsider, the political musical reaction to the bloated sounds of 70s excess. Or was it a kind of cottage industry of outsiders who wanted into the big time, but were shut out by industry gatekeepers? However you view punk, metal, hip hop, or rock and roll, there has always been an anti-authoritarian message in the music. Visual art at one time was countercultural and defied convention, but now I can get a Basquiat or Keith Haring painting as a phone case or a doormat. While these artists are no longer with us, and we can't say for certain that they'd be down with the use of their art to sell such mundane suburban kitsch, there are tons of celebrities that have no problem dancing for money, as the great urban philosopher Tina Turner once said. Today, celebrities don't mind being a corporate private dancer, and most fans don't mind the performance as well. We are all hungry consumers and content creators, so is selling out aspirational? The internet is flush with content creators, people trying to make any and everything in the attempt to capture eyeballs. But whatever happened to being dope? There are tons of influencers, but very few people I see that actually care about producing a show. Just virtual billboards, avatars for consumerism. For years, I made music and traveled all over the world playing it. I don't think I created generic content for consumption. But now the content-hungry masses yearn for the stuff, and the celebrity serves this slop at a premium. There was a time when celebrities were ashamed of taking the corporate dollar to shill products. Now they step on each other's heads in the attempt to be a spokesperson. From our guest's latest article in Current Affairs, How We Stopped Caring About Selling Out, wherever you are watching or listening to the show, there's a link in the description. Quote, even worse are the podcasters who openly promote questionable or downright scammy products. Just take a look at the sheer number of celebrities who swear by BetterHelp. If you've listened to even a single podcast lately, you've probably heard ads for this shady online therapy service. The company has sponsored over 58,000 podcasts in the last 5 years alone, many of which are hosted by beloved media figures who urge their audiences to join the app to improve their mental health. Ousted CNN host Don Lemon is one such supporter. Men today feel immense pressure to perform, to provide, and to keep it all together, he said in a recent episode of the Don Lemon Show podcast. So what do? The most convenient and I believe the most affordable and accessible therapy you're going to get out there is BetterHelp.com. Lemon goes on to offer his fans 10% off the first month. What he fails to mention is that 2 years ago, BetterHelp was fined by the Federal Trade Commission for sharing users' private health data with advertisers. The FTC found that BetterHelp used and revealed consumers' email addresses, IP addresses, and health questionnaire information to Facebook, Snapchat, Criteo, and Pinterest for advertising purposes, including questions about why the patient needed therapy, what their concerns were, and whether they have been treated before. This betrayal of people seeking mental health care wasn't even hidden in BetterHelp's fine print. The company straight up lied about it. In 2021, after 10 people died during a crowd crush at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival, BetterHelp teamed up with the rapper to offer traumatized attendees a singular month of free therapy. How generous. Naturally, fans and media outlets were weary of the deal, leading the company to publish a frequently asked questions page. The last part of the frequently asked questions addressed BetterHelp's privacy data practices. Is information members enter on BetterHelp ever sold to any advertising platform or third party? Writes Rolling Stone. The company's response was an emphatic no. The press release is still available on BetterHelp's website, but curiously, the specific question regarding data privacy appears to have been deleted.